Okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning. My apologies for being a tad bit late. Of course, with the change of broadband, getting on the internet is sometimes a little bit challenging. I'm not quite sure why, but I'm here. This is your host, Tasemere, live with the Blackout from New York. I totally screwed up that title, but it's the Blackout live from New York with Tasemere, and I'm your host. The segment that I do is really geared towards explaining or really exploring all of the trends that are happening in business and how we can continue to be a part of the trends that are going on and how it relates to Black folks and across the diaspora of Black people, because we are literally everywhere doing all the things, literally, probably, likely all the time. And so I like to really try to explore what's going on. I have two folks that will be coming on. Hopefully they're still able to join me today. If not, I'll definitely have to reschedule them since I did have a tad bit of a challenge getting online. One person, his name is Marques Payne. Marques, to me, is a mover and a shaker here in New York City. He does a lot of community economic development, but also a tad bit of political consultations as well. He's someone that is very tapped in to the community, and he advocates for the changes that need to be made, and he's a connector, he's a supporter, and he's an ally. So I definitely have him coming on today. Hopefully he's able to join us, along with a new co-host that will be having a show on our network, BlackUSA.News. His name is Joey Noble Jr. I mean, this guy has done some amazing things. And when I met him, I was completely inspired by his tenacity and his drive. And he left me feeling like I don't have any excuses for not showing up and doing what I need to do. And so I'm totally looking forward to him, speaking with him, talking about his show that's coming up. I know we had some preliminary conversations, but really excited for you guys to meet him. Hopefully you will also be inspired by his story and all the things that he's doing, because he's really an inspiration. I have one of my other co-hosts here from Share Spaces. Share Spaces is on Monday nights at 7-ish, I want to say. Please forgive us if we're a little late starting our show. Sometimes this internet issue is an issue. I hope we are able to convince the government that we probably need better internet connectivity. I mean, we're all paying top dollar for internet access, and sometimes we just are not able to get it. But Share Spaces definitely comes on Monday. Definitely you should tune into all of the broadcasts that we have. We have quite a few that come on every day. Monday through Friday, we have a show that comes on and airs around 10. And then during the evening, we usually have shows Monday through Friday during the evening around 7. I have a show here on the network Saturday at 10:15, followed by Behind the Pen that comes on around 12. And then, we're adding on new people all the time. So let me just get Joey on here, because I think you guys would be very inspired by him and all that he does. Hopefully he's able to log on really soon. But I also wanted to just take this time to just discuss some trends that I have been seeing around NFTs, and I'm not an NFT expert, so please do not start bombarding me with a lot of questions in the chat about that, because that is not my expertise. But I have seen a lot of stuff around NFTs lately. Nas just released an NFT that allows people to have some sort of royalties or some sort of stake in some of his previous albums. But I also saw something, and I would love to get our co-host from LA on the West Coast, who does his cryptocurrency show on Friday nights, to talk to us a little bit about the IRS regulations. It seems like the IRS is tapping into what's going on, and they are going to be regulating Bitcoins, I'm sure NFTs, cryptocurrency soon. I read something recently that the stock had actually dropped for Bitcoin. So really interested in seeing like what the trends are related to that. I'm sure something like that will be down the pipe for the metaverse, as I know you guys are familiar with the fact that the metaverse is a thing and it's happening, and some of us are participating, some of us aren't, some of us don't even know what the heck the metaverse is or how to participate and what all that jazz is. But as Black folks, I think it is in our best interest that even if we don't participate in everything, that we are knowledgeable about what is going on, so that we can join the conversation and also, get our, I don't even want to say fair share, but own our spaces in all these spaces, even the digital platforms that exist. So I just wanted to throw that out there to you guys, that I think that that's something that we should definitely talk about. Now, I'm in a different space that I'm usually in. I'm usually either at home in the Bronx with my co-host and chief of staff, Elijah. As you guys see, I'm not here with the baby carrier today. Or I am in Brooklyn, but today I'm actually in Hudson Yards at a co-working space called The Yard because I have a meeting later on today. So I traveled a little out of my usual place in order to be able to do the show and maintain the show space. Is that my co-host over in on Monday night, do you want to come up for a moment and just plug your show since I see you here? I'm going to add the link to the chat so you can just come up and plug your show for a bit. I love to just love on my other network mates and the work that they're doing, and I think that you will really, really enjoy what's happening. So hopefully you guys can pop in and just give a shout out. Also kind of just waiting for my guests to also arrive. They might also be experiencing some challenges with actually logging in. So we'll give them some grace, as we should, because I want you guys to really understand what's happening. So some updates that I can give you guys that are going on in New York City that I think relates to Black folks is we just got our new mayor. He is the second Black mayor here in New York City. His name is Eric Adams, and he has installed a lot of Black folks and people of color into positions of power on his transitional team. Really looking forward to seeing how this shakes out and what this means for business here in New York City. We know that here in New York City, we constitute I'm saying Black people across the diaspora constitute as 22% of the population, but we're known to only get 2% of contracts. And that is unacceptable. There's no way that there's 22% of us here and we only get 2% of contracts. And so I know that BBEC had a meeting with him way before he was even elected into office. He was actually campaigning a few years ago, and we met with him to sit down with him and explain to him how, we need to have some designations earmarked for Black businesses. And it's a little confusing and convoluted here about how you apply, bid, and then win these very lucrative contracts. Sometimes the bonding kind of, prices us out. Sometimes we don't have enough capacity. Sometimes we don't have enough paperwork behind us, but we really need to be participating in all the contract opportunities that are here. Another thing, just to give you guys some scope on what's happening here in New York, is that we're having some challenges with small businesses staying open. right? Like we know that the pandemic has hurt a lot of different industries, but in particular small businesses, and even more drill down on that is a lot of micro entrepreneurs that are Black are really having a hard time accessing some of the funds that were made available to us to participate and to keep us afloat, mainly because we operate in part as informal businesses, meaning we do not have our paperwork together, we do not have a business bank account, we do not have our LLCs or our sole proprietorships or any kind of documentation that is required when you are actually entrepreneur and have a track record to prove that this is something that you do. So I want to encourage us to take this opportunity to really get our businesses in order, because if we don't, we will continue to have a hard time accessing resources in a way to our detriment, that we aren't able to compete in the levels that we need to compete in. One thing that I have also been following is this whole venture capital space. And what does that mean for Black businesses? And in my opinion, I think that a lot of venture capitalists are focused on certain industries, and most of the industries are not service related outside of the food industry, meaning not necessarily accountants, attorneys, business development firms, maybe some architectural firms might be able to squeak in there, but they're really usually focused on technology, beauty, food, those kind of industries. And so really wanting to take this opportunity, if any of you guys are listening, that I would encourage you to think outside of the traditional industries that yield you a return on your investment for venture capital and equity building. And I would also urge Black entrepreneurs to start thinking outside of traditional realms of making money. And sometimes, it's okay to merge with another business. It's okay to sell your business. You're not selling out because you're selling your business, and building wealth and understanding how that works and understanding how you can have those other exit strategies actually impact and help to grow your wealth, and also maybe spur new investment. I'm not sure exactly. Oh, who is this that's come? Oh, here goes my network mate. I'm going to add you on here. Do you have, I don't know if you have your video, but I will definitely add you onto the screen here. I want to introduce you guys to my network mate. She only has her audio on, so we'll only be able to hear her, which is fine because you guys need to hear what she has to say. I will let you introduce yourself, Kwana. I really, really enjoyed our conversation that we have had earlier this week, and just looking forward to growing and learning more about what you're doing and participating. And I think, just to plug, I think Black folks need to do that more, and we need to, participate with each other and learn from each other and grow. So, Kwana, introduce yourself, a little bit about your show, a little bit about what you do.
Yes, hello. Do you hear an echo, or am I good?
You are great.
Excellent. So I am Laquita Chansey. I'm the founder and director of Small to More Homes, as well as the founder of Xavier State. So Small to More Homes, we build micro shelters and tiny homes for people who are experiencing housing insecurity right here in Baltimore. So just like you were saying, Tasemere, like we really need to figure out how to get in on these bids, because development work is huge. The Build Back Better, what is that? It's the policy, the funding. We need to get a part of that. People need to understand that they need their minority designations to be considered a priority in some of these projects. I know here in Baltimore, we've put in policy that any new project needs to have at least a minority sub on that contract. So the minority could be the prime, which we know isn't usually the case. But they have to have at least one minority sub on each contract. But to your point, if there are no minorities available to fill that space, then they did what they needed to do by putting out the RFP, and it moves on and it goes to someone that's not a minority. So there are tons of opportunities out here, in any community, in any, like, that's how cities maintain. So that's what we're doing here in Baltimore. Baltimore Homes is my nonprofit. Xavier Estates is the for-profit, and we do residential rehabs in the DMV area. But yeah, to your point, there's a lot of money out here, and a lot of people can get involved. Even if you're not a real estate developer, people need to understand contracts and how the system works, and there's enough space and money for all the people, like you were saying.
I totally agree. I think one of the things that we need to do is get our business in order, right? Like, I think that sometimes Black entrepreneurs are very comfortable with being informal, and that really just cuts you out of the game, right? Because you don't have any paperwork to prove that you are actually a business, and you don't have any certifications, to your point, to be able to even take a crack at the bid. But
Right.
here in New York City, I know when I have spoken to some entrepreneurs, and even when I have reviewed some bids, sometimes it's complicated to understand how to even respond to the bid, right?
Right.
And so you're like, what do they need? How do I respond? And then every agency has a different way that they would like you to respond. And there really isn't a lot of technical assistance around responding to the bid itself. So that was one of the complaints that I brought up to our now mayor, that there really needs to be, like, it's not enough to just have that info session that says, hey, this is the bid, and if you have any questions, submit your questions and we'll answer them in like a long document. But also maybe some technical assistance around how to actually respond to different bids from different city agencies, because they want them in different formats. And I don't know if there's points allocated, but if you don't have enough, then you just are disqualified, right?
Yeah, you're just not eligible or considered. Yeah.
So, like, how do you actually respond and then win a bid? I think is something that's definitely needed. I always say access to me is almost like the thought of cage-free chickens in my brain. Like, they see the grass, but I don't know if they really get to walk on it.
Right.
And so I'm like, so you tell us that we have access, but I don't know if we really get to attain it, right? Like, do we just see it and we see everybody else like operating in different spaces, but we ourselves are not able to like really attain that access?
Right, because to your point, we need to build capacity. We need to have our EIN and our banks in order. And those are just the bigger minimum checkbox. And to your point, there were millions of dollars distributed by the SBA for COVID relief. And, there were a lot of people that are like, hey, I had my side hustle for 2 or 3 years, but you don't have an EIN, you don't have an online presence, you don't have a bank account. So if you had those things in place, you would have been eligible for at least a $5,000 grant. But not having
agree.
Not having those few things in place. So you don't have an online presence. We can't check if you're real and have real customers. You don't even have an Instagram page. Like, that's free and easy. So if we thought of these things in a more strategic manner, to your point, we could put ourselves in a better position to go after some of these awards and even be in the running, like you said.
And get organized, right? Because like, I also have spoken to some entrepreneurs that have the EIN and the LLC, but then when you ask, do you have your tax returns? They're like, I don't know where they are.
Yeah, or who did them? How do you not know who did them?
Right, I don't know where they are. I don't know how to get them. And these opportunities come so quickly that you have to be able to have accessibility to your documents at the click of a button, right? Like click, 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 send. If you have to sit there and scan and everything, that's something that you should have done when you had like downtime. I think we always say that we stay ready so we don't have to get ready. And what I'm learning is that a lot of Black entrepreneurs in particular just had never even really got ready. So they can't stay ready because they never were ready.
Right. And then don't even have the ready, set, go checklist. Like they have no idea what they're getting ready for. They just like, I'm ready to go, but are you?
Yeah, and it can be a little frustrating as I'm working with folks because I want you to win, you know. I want us to grow and expand and be able to do business with each other and create bigger ecosystems, but sometimes it's hard. And as an entrepreneur, if I have a client that needs something and I really want to work with, you know, a Black person and get it done, but they can't get it together, I'm kind of forced to go outside of my initial thought process, right?
Absolutely.
Because I can't fail waiting for you to try to get it together. So that's just my plug of like, can we please work to get it together? I know Joey just sent me an email and I'm gonna wait around for him. Because I really want you guys to meet him because he's trying to log in and I had some challenges earlier logging in. So I'm going to wait for him as long as I possibly can because I want you guys to hear his story. I mean, when I met him a few weeks ago, I was like, I don't have any excuse for not getting stuff done. When you just see Joey, you're going to be like, what are my excuses for not putting in the work? But also, you know, and I'm sorry that I mispronounced your name earlier, Laquita, right?
Yes.
I think one of the challenges that we have here in the city, and I'm not sure if it's also in Baltimore, is that our Black folks here just blindly vote Democratic without understanding like what that actually means and how that impacts business. And we don't necessarily hold people as accountable as I think we should. And we just like let things just roll over. Now, I've been talking to a lot of Baltimoreans, and it seems like you guys give your politicians a run for their money. Would you say that that is accurate?
I definitely think it's accurate because Baltimore is a city that is, you know, more than 60% Black, and most of our leadership is Black, and we hold their feet to the fire because they are not, you know, producing or performing to what we expect. But Baltimore, you know, we started in the back of the bus, so to speak. You know, like Baltimore is where redlining started. It was perfected in Chicago, and we're still seeing, you know, 100+ years later that it's impacting our community. So that's a lot of the work that I do, is focusing on redline communities. Like you mentioned, Donnie, he does a lot of work in West Baltimore. And yeah, each time we can, we're like, hey, Mayor Brandon Scott, what are you doing about this, that, and the other? And he'll respond. He gets involved. Like, he's our newer, younger mayor, and, you know, fresh meat, fresh blood, and we'll see how it goes. So yeah, we hold them to the fire. We give them a run for their money, but I'm looking forward to what is coming because things are changing and it is looking better.
Yay! I want you to stay around because this is our new addition to our networking family, and yes. I am bringing Joey up. I'll give him a brief introduction. I will not go too far in because I am so excited. I'm just saying, as I mentioned earlier, probably 10 times already, Joey has left me feeling like I have no excuses in the world to not do what I need to do. Joey Noble is someone that can hold his own on practically any conversation, super intellectual, super able, and excited to just have him on and joining our network. He's from Tampa, Florida. I hope I didn't give you the wrong shout out, but I think Joey's from Tampa, Florida, and I'm just so excited to have him here. And he's gonna be having a new show on the network. Can't wait for it. Joey, how are you? Welcome.
I'm good. How are you? How are you?
I am well. So tell us a little bit about you. I know you gave me a mouthful when we talked,
Yeah.
and then a little bit about what you're doing and your show. Just give us all the tea.
Okay, well, I'm from Miami, Florida.
Miami. See, I knew I messed that. See, I don't.
Yeah.
Who's from Tampa? Where did I get Tampa from?
So 305 in the building right now. So well, thanks for having me. Yeah, last time we spoke, we did have a great conversation. And what I plan on doing, I want my show to bring like the faith aspect to the conversation. We have our political leaders, we have our educational leaders, we have our financial leaders, we have our community development leaders. We have all of our leaders in their respective areas, and I think that a lot of things that get overlooked is the faith aspect. A lot of our political and um, community activists were faith leaders. You had Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King. Even right now, the last remaining notable civil rights activist, as many would say, is Reverend Al Sharpton. Anytime something goes on in the Black community, Reverend Al Sharpton is at the forefront, whether it's fighting for justice, fighting for civil rights, fighting for rights, period. These are faith leaders that are also leading the um, community and political fight. So I just want to bring back that the faith aspect to the fold. Yes, we need our political leaders, we need our community leaders, we need our educational leaders, we need our financial IQ and financial advocacy leaders. We need our lobbyists like Donnie lobbying for all of the black rights that we need, but we also need our faith leaders. We need faith. We often pray, but we don't need to pray lightly. We don't need to pray just to pray to put on a show. We need to pray because we know prayer changes things. So I'm
I
seeking to bring that.
totally agree with you. So when is your show coming? When can we expect to see more from Joey? When can people tune in? Just give us the tea here.
I'm trying to do it. You gave me a great idea. To do it around like Dr. Martin Luther King holiday because, as I just said, he is like the perfect medium between politics and faith. So we can. I'm trying to get it together. I have to learn the technology of this whole StreamYard thing. I'm more behind the scenes, just digging into the information and building websites and building things. So I'm not really used to being in front of the camera. So I guess that's what you're here to help me with, and Donnie is here to help me with, and the whole family is here to help me with.
Look, Joey, you look comfortable to me, so I
You,
can't tell.
you got your branding together. You got your clothing
Oh,
line. Joey didn't
AYS
even
in the
mention
building.
that he has a clothing line. He's wearing
No,
his own clothes. You looking sourced
Looking
out
real
right now.
professional to me.
I'm not because I'm not here to promote, but I'm gonna brand myself, but I'm not here to promote like that. So I'm not here to
But
toot my own horn like that.
Joey, I will tell you, I don't know if you hear this often, but you have been an inspiration to me ever since we spoke late last year. I have been like, if Joey can build websites, I don't have any excuse for not getting
Okay,
anything done. I
okay,
need to concentrate and just go after it.
Yeah, man. I mean, the t-shirt brand. I designed all of the designs that you see on AY Asher. I do all the designs. I do all the outfitting for the screen printing. I make music. I record the music. I write the music. I mix the music. I'm digging into what's going on in the world. Financial advocacy. I got a course 1921incorporated.com trying to just advocate. I'm not the smartest financial guy in the world, but I do dig into what's going on. They say our net household income will be zero by 2053. What appalls me because we built this country, we built the White House, we built the roads, we built the schools, we built everything. So how can we be the first ones broke? So that kind of shocked me to know that the average black household would be zero by 2053. So I jumped in and tried to do something with that. 1921inc.com. I'm just trying to do something, man. I'm just trying to do something. Whatever it is I can
I
do,
need you
I'm
to
trying to do
stop
it.
saying trying, cause you not trying. You out here doing it. You got all your different brands going on. You are advocating. You're going to have a show on the network. You are not trying. You are doing and making an impact and inspiring people.
Right, Tasemere,
Well,
tell them like big energy over here, Joey. Ain't no little steps. There are no little businesses. You are doing it big, and step into that. Own it. You have your show. Like we support you, Joey. We support you, and I think that the saying that you're not going to promote yourself while you're on, wrong idea. Like you're promoting yourself all the time. You're the face of the brand now. You know what I mean? Like now the brand has a face and people are going to be looking for you for that. And I think that it's awesome that you're a part of the team now. You're going to have a regular show. Like Joey, you're going to fit right on in. I appreciate being able to meet you. So thank you, Tasemere, because I thought I was going to have to watch his first show not knowing who he was.
you know, you know,
No. And I want you guys to both plug what you guys are doing. I know I have to wrap up soon, and my apologies. I couldn't get on. I don't know what's happening. I think something secretly is going on with broadband access, and something will be coming out down the pipeline. But I want you guys to definitely plug your show. When can people see you? Um, Quita, and also what you're doing so people can stay in touch with you.
Okay, sure, absolutely. We come on Mondays, Chap and I, for shared space on the Black News USA channel, as well as the Shared Space YouTube channel, I'm sorry, Black USA News. I always say it backwards. But Small to More Homes on all the social medias, and yeah, Mondays at 7. Plug in with Chap and I. Thank you for that,
Yay!
Tasemere. Joey, when is your show?
my show will be on Saturdays. I'm shooting for maybe the first show to be on next Saturday. I need to talk with my coach, Miss Tasemere, to see you know how much love and support she gonna give me. On
Joey, I got you. I'm gonna be your backup. I'm gonna be there
Right.
supporting you. And I think this is what we need to see each other doing, right? Like we are
Absolutely.
a family of Black folks that are going to step in and help each other grow and succeed and support each other. So I will be there. If you need me next week, Saturday, you just let me know. I will be there supporting you, championing you while you're doing your first show.
I definitely will take all of that. I take it all.
Yes, thank you for having us, Tasemere, and sharing your platform. I appreciate it. And
No,
we're
you
gonna have
guys
you
are
on shared
always
space soon too.
You guys are all, whenever I see you guys in the chat, y'all say something, just know I'm dropping the link to have you guys come on, because that's what we do. This has been the Blackout Live from New York with your host, Tasemere. I'm tuning in live from the yard here in New York City, and we'll be back next week and with some new topics, new folks. Joey might be coming on, launching his show next week in honor of Martin Luther King's birthday. So definitely stay tuned to all the programming that we have Monday through Sunday, actually, and just connect with us. Thank you for tuning in. I'll talk to you guys soon. Ciao.